This time I want you, like it's magnetic. Super equilibrium. Like it's magnetic. Super.
The Dynasty of Kong. Today we invite and welcome to Rooted Roads. Rooted Roads, Icon Media present Rooted Roads through the Dynasty of Kong. Today we invite and welcome Your Royal Majesty, the guest from the Batum of WUM Zongho. We will allow him to introduce himself in his native tongue so we, the viewers, can hear the correct pronunciation of his name and title. Please, Your Royal Majesty.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. You are listening to His Royal Majesty Inna Mbimbong of the WUM dynasty in Zongoku, Agam WUM in the Menchum division of the Northwest region of Cameroon.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, for those who do not know, I am Porea Shekinah Keys, known in the spiritual community throughout the diaspora, now the international ambassador for the Dynasty of Kong. Today's episode is we're going to see Agam through Your Royal Majesty's eyes. He's going to give us an understanding, a little clarity, a little mystery about the things that we don't know. Me, I'm learning too. I'm on this journey with you. So today, my question, Your Royal Majesty, what does it look like? A day in the life of a royal? And can you give us in that? I'm going to give you this platform. I would love to understand what it looks like to be a royal in your own lineage and introduce us to your lineage. As well, let us know what the viewers need to know of what it looks like a day in a royal's reality. Thank you.
We thank you equally. A day in the life of a royal, and precisely in my lineage. Yes, the WUM dynasty is under the rule of the Kekra family. Kekra is an animal called the baboon in English. And so, members of the WUM dynasty are generally called Kekra. When you hear Ukwa, that is the plural form. And the baboon, as I would want you to know, is therefore the totem of the WUM royal household.
Wow.
It is an animal which is known for physical strength. It is known for spiritual strength. It is known for wisdom. It is equally known for sociability. We are talking about what marks us out as our own royal identity. And on daily basis, a royal is a community head. A royal is a family head. And as such, the life of a royal under normal circumstances is characterized by the social intercourse between the royal household and the subject. The royal spends time paying attention to the subjects and to members of the immediate family. And it will be important for you to know that
yes,
you cannot be a royalty if you do not have subjects. And so the subjects are so important that every royalty desires to have subjects in order to be able to savor the actual taste of royalty. And so a royal without subject is incomplete. Yes, it's incomplete. And so a royal spends the day listening to issues coming from within the immediate family circle, listening to issues coming from the community, and of course, receiving guests. Sometimes a royal can have time to hang out. Of course, you know, a royal will not hang out as an individual. A royal normally hangs out in the company of selected notables who are entrusted with, first, the safety of the throne. Secondly, with the task of facilitating errands, running errands for the palace. And of course, at times the royal may have an opportunity to learn, say for example, during a seminar, because from time to time, workshops and seminars are organized, maybe to edify royalties on how to better manage the people and the situations that come to them on daily basis. And so a duty-conscious royal is one who takes time to teach and to learn at the same time. A royal will spend time to minister to the subject, sometimes within the family circle, sometimes within the community circle, and at times it takes the royal to leave the community entirely and move to some other, either the rural centers or the urban centers where the subjects are located. The royal will equally be the ones who are settled outside the origin, the community.
yes.
So for example, if we have a development association that has its congress, say in Bafusam, say in Douala, sometimes even abroad, yes, the subjects invite the royalties and they come and grace such events with royal presence and with royal blessing on all who are fighting tooth and nail to see that they can contribute to the building of the kingdom. The royal equally spends time to sympathize with members of the family and members of the community who may be afflicted in one way or the other. The royal can spend time out in fellowship with families that have one reason or the other to celebrate. It could be the birth of a new baby. It could be the graduation ceremony of sons and daughters who are now graduating to go into the job market. It could be even during sporting activities. It could be during cultural celebrations. And so it is an issue of a face-to-face encounter between the royal and the subject. Maybe for now, this one will suffice unless we desire to have more enlightenment as far as the issue in question is concerned.
Thank you very much for that, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. One of the things that is being very growing in my spirit to understand more about our ancient ways and the lineages, because I am a returnee. This is personal Yet, as it's not just personal, because I speak for all the indigenous who have been taken away from their land, or these old traditions and memories. This right here in this moment, I want to acknowledge all the royal bloods and DNA that are lost in the confounds of the world. It's in their DNA, but they are asleep to knowing who they are for being scattered all over the world. So this also is not only a moment to speak to the understanding of the historical background of what it looks like, but also remind the people that royalty means decisions, discernment, wisdom, leadership, sacrifice. This is why it's very important by growing up around my parents, public figures, writers, authors, doctors, also being very head in the aid of the leader in our own community that I was raised and grew up in. It is always, I've seen it firsthand. Our families sacrifice, the leaders, children, they feel the sacrifice. The community, sometimes the people and the villages don't understand the role, the burden, and the sacrifice one holds when they carry the crown. And this is why it's so important to me to bridge that gap, but also honor the ancestors that were lost, those royal bloods that they were never known or remembered. Today, we want to honor all those royals that didn't know. They left this earth forgetting who they were. So this is ancestral veneration, and I am honored to present this.
Yeah, that is another very, very crucial appendage of the whole thing. Even if I did not mention it, it was only an oversight.
Yes.
The relationship with the ancestors cannot be overemphasized.
Right.
First and foremost, we those of us on the thrones now, we are operating on the foundations that were established by our ancestors. And so we know it from the very onset that as a royal, it is not just about the crown. It is not just about the glory. It is not just about the festivity. It is equally about the sacrifice. It is about the inventiveness. It is about the resourcefulness. It is about the availability.
Absolutely.
Very importantly, availability for the people, for the subject to acknowledge their royalty. It means that the royalty must be available from time to time when there is need. And so a royal will sometimes stay in at the royal circle, not necessarily out of personal decision, but because circumstances demand so. Sometimes a royal will spend time out of the royal precincts, not necessarily out of personal desire, but because circumstances warrant it. And so we do not joke when it comes to our cultural practices. And there are cultural practices that you carry out of the palace and the value is no longer there. The value is there when it is on the throne. Take, for instance, the pouring of libation. Our people that when a child leaves the village and moves out, the child needs to come home from time to time so as to be reinvigorated, so as to be reactivated. And one of the things children come home for is to drink from the royal cup. And when they drink from the royal cup, it serves as some form of spiritual healing on their body. It serves as some form of clearance of their way, so that when they move back, in spite of all the obstacles they meet on the way, they keep going because the ancestors have a role to play. And we know also that when they come home, as our people believe, the sharing of a kola nut has more value than a plate of hamburger. Let me borrow hamburger, which that you are definitely used to.
Right.
To talk about peace, to talk about other goodies, which are an identity marker for the Western world.
Yes.
A child who comes home and eats a kola nut from the royal bar or from the royal table, that child celebrates it because the child has come and taken from the original source. Even when new children, even when our babies are born, on the day the umbilical cord falls off, it is picked and buried with some rice. That is so that that child, no matter how far the child goes, that child has to return home because home is home. That is so that the child never forgets where the child came from. And it is an age-old tradition that we inherited and which we do not joke with, because a sole part of our lives depends on how we maintain the age-old customs and traditions of our ancestors. And so a royal spends time indoors and ministers to the people in this or in that way. And in a situation of conflict resolution, at the end of a conflict resolution exercise, it is the royal that takes time to cleanse the hands and the heart of the parties involved. A drink from the royal cup goes to pacify the minds of all the contenders, so that in so doing, we are building the culture of peace. We are building the culture of solidarity. We are building the culture of unity. We are building the culture of forgiveness. We are building the culture of social interaction. We understand that in human life, it is normal for misunderstandings to arise. And so when they arise, especially it is the palace. The palace has the obligation, the duty to reconcile belligerents and make them come back to be one family. Because we have a common belief that a child belongs to one household only when that child is still in the womb. But the day the child is born, that child becomes the child of the entire neighborhood, and why not the world at large?
Thank you. I will say one thing. I'm going to be very transparent with you, Your Royal Majesty, as well as the viewers. When you said that each child that is born, you place the placenta in the ground as a source to return home, chills went through my spirit because I can just feel all the ancestors that's inside of me yearning to return. This was so, that moment, that right there, I thank you so much because it makes it a full circle. And it is planting new roots with the original roots. And this is amazing. So jumping into a little bit more sauce, like yesterday, we had began to talk about the understanding of the Agam people in the village. We want to give a summary, not too much, because today we want just to give the snippets because we're going to have live footage content when I get to Cameroon. So we're just giving them a little bit. We want them to keep coming.
All right, Agam land. Agam is a federation. of close to 20 villages and autonomous villages for that matter, with a paramountcy at the village of Zongoku. And the paramount font on the seat is His Royal Majesty von Nzobambi III. My own palace, the palace of Wabang, is equally situated within the village of Zongoku. And so, when the paramount font is in attendance, I am the immediate collaborator. We consult on a number of things on how to operate. And the Agam village, Agam land, it's a federation, like I said before. It has 4 second-class fondoms. The fondom of Kosu, where I was born. The fondom of Zongofe, the fondom of Zongoku, and the fondom of Wendu. These are second-class fondoms. We equally have third-class fondoms. We have the fondom of Naikom, the fondom of Talaga, the fondom of Wanangwen, that is Wadzung, Wajio, and Zongotra. These are third-class fondoms. And it will equally be of interest for you to know that we have an annual event that comes every month of March when we have the blessing of seeds. And yes, when the farming season is approaching, we have the blessing of seeds and the annual dance. We call the annual dance the dwarf dance. Men who dance the dance are initiated into manhood. They now climb higher in social rank. And it is also a dance which is used to test the marital faithfulness of women. Unfortunately, only that of women is tested. That is how we have grown to know it. And we go by it. The rest of the intricacies, that can be the subject matter of maybe some future discussion. And we have the male institution of Ndukwife. Ndukwife is the highest decision-making organ of the Agam land, Ndukwife, headed by the His Royal Majesty von Stanley II of Maga village. He is the head of the Ndukwife, and the rest of the funds belong there, with some selected notables. So in times of emergencies or in times of important decision-making, the funds assemble in the Ndukwife, that is the house of Kwife. They assemble and deliberate and come out with decisions for the good of the entire clan. And the women's arm of the Agam Federation is called Ndufengbi, the house of Fengbi. It means that women equally have their own highest decision-making body of the land. Women, as the queen mothers of all the villages, assemble there from time to time to equally deliberate and take decisions on things that are affecting the women folk. They equally administer the village, the female way after their deliberations in the Ndufengbi. We equally have the youth wing of the Agam Federation. That is to say that Agam land is very much like some other communities of the grass field. They know the importance of youth. That when the youth are well coordinated and they are vibrant and they are united, it can bring a lot of good tidings to the indigenous community. On daily basis, we only have burials and celebrations and marriages that are conducted in Agam. Agam people have their own way of doing it. And when you know some of these things, there are some of those things that mark you out as a grown-up Agam man. a mature Agaman. And all of these things, they mark out the Agaman as a different person, as a unique person within the grass field of Cameroon. I remember you said we should be snappy. I do not know whether this one suffices for now
These
or
are
we need to go a bit
perfect.
further.
First and foremost, thank you. Everything you have given us today were gems that will allow me to unfold video content, because now it gives a broader view of understanding Agam, the villages, the structures, me, myself coming through the dynasty of Kong, and we are promoting through the village of the future. We are still very rooted in making sure that every step of the way, we're not here to cut off or cause separation. On the contrary, we're here to bring motivation, bring newness, but also remembering that only in harmony and flow, when we all use wisdom, higher minds, ancestors, always being able to come back to the table and sit and break bread, honor and respect amongst brothers and sisters. Like you said, the dynasty, we're not creating something new. It is here, the foundation, the queen mother, the king, the royal family. But it's also today we get to give the people a glimpse of what it feels like to come from that lineage, but also come from a space of having more compassion for the leaders, having more understanding for what they carry. They carry you in mind at all times. They love, they pray, they're pouring libations. They're always constantly receiving consciousness and ancestral guidance to assist the people. But we need the people to remember that we are people too. And today, I thank you for your time, for your time is priceless, and I honor it. I honor today's journey, and I can't wait to upload everything so we can all share it and begin to road new routes. Thank you very much. This was brought once again by Icon Media, and we are creating and planting new seeds, taking you on a journey to root and roads, and actually, hey, create some new roads. Why not? Thank you very much. Good evening. Have a blessed and highly favored day today.
In the name of Jesus, amen.
Give thanks to life. All praises to the Lord, me see if I'm sanctified. Nah, make them stress me. Me a wall of vibe. With Red Boom, DJ, and Moon, and my board to fight. And the Lord is around us. In blessings surround us. Me not care who like me. Me just a go and show love. And the Lord is around us. In blessings surround us.